Are Mercury retrogrades real? An AI investigation. Every few months, the internet seems to change. Social media fills with familiar warnings. My phone stopped working. My flight was delayed. My ex texted me out of nowhere. Mercury must be in retrograde. For some, it's a joke. For others, it's a genuine belief. And for millions around the world, Mercury retrograde has become one of the most recognized ideas in modern astrology. But here's the question. If an artificial intelligence were asked to investigate Mercury retrograde, what would it find? Would AI discover evidence that this celestial event changes human lives? Or would it uncover something even more fascinating? Today, we're opening the case. This is Are Mercury retrogrades real? An AI investigation. Imagine giving an AI access to thousands of years of astronomical observations, ancient writings, modern psychology, historical records, scientific studies, news archives, social media conversations, and millions of discussions about Mercury retrograde. What patterns would emerge? The first discovery is surprisingly simple. Mercury retrograde is absolutely real, but perhaps not in the way many people imagine. Astronomically, Mercury never actually reverses its orbit around the Sun. Instead, it only appears to move backward from Earth's perspective. It's an optical illusion created by the different speeds at which Earth and Mercury travel around the Sun. Much like watching a faster train pass a slower one. For a brief moment, the slower train appears to move backward. Nothing about either train has changed. Only your perspective. Artificial intelligence immediately recognizes this as a measurable astronomical event. The apparent backward motion is predictable, calculable, observable. It has been documented for centuries. So the astronomical phenomenon is real. The larger question is different. Does this apparent motion influence communication, technology, travel, or decision-making? This is where AI becomes especially useful. Because AI doesn't begin with belief. It begins with evidence. Researchers have spent decades examining claims surrounding astrology. Some studies have searched for measurable links between planetary positions and personality. Others have investigated whether specific celestial events consistently influence human behavior. So far, no broad scientific consensus has found reliable evidence that Mercury retrograde directly causes communication breakdowns, technological failures, or relationship challenges. If such effects existed consistently across millions of people, artificial intelligence would likely detect statistically significant patterns. Instead, something else appears. Human psychology. AI notices that during Mercury retrograde, people often pay closer attention to everyday mistakes. A delayed email becomes memorable. A forgotten appointment feels symbolic. A computer crash suddenly carries cosmic significance. Psychologists call this confirmation bias. Once people expect something to happen, they naturally notice events that confirm that expectation while overlooking countless ordinary moments that don't. Artificial intelligence finds this pattern everywhere. Not only in astrology, but in investing, sports, politics, health, and everyday decision-making. The human brain is remarkably skilled at finding meaningful patterns. Sometimes those patterns reveal genuine insights. Sometimes they reflect the stories we naturally tell ourselves. But the investigation doesn't end there. Because Mercury retrograde may still have value, just not necessarily as a physical force. Throughout history, civilizations have used symbolic systems to create moments of reflection. Harvest festivals reminded communities to prepare for winter. The changing seasons marked opportunities for renewal. Religious calendars created periods for contemplation. Mercury retrograde functions similarly for many people today. It encourages slowing down, double-checking plans, reviewing important conversations, backing up digital files, reflecting before making major commitments. Interestingly, these are useful habits regardless of planetary positions. Artificial intelligence recognizes another intriguing pattern. Symbols influence behavior. Whether it's a wedding ring, a national flag, a graduation ceremony, or a calendar marking the beginning of a new year. Human beings attach meaning to symbols, and those symbols often change the way people think and act. Mercury retrograde may operate in a similar psychological space, not because Mercury forces events to occur, but because the symbol itself encourages greater awareness. If millions of people become more cautious, reflective, and attentive during these periods, the symbol has influenced behavior, even if not through gravity or planetary energy. AI also discovers something fascinating about history. Mercury has long been associated with communication. Writing, trade, travel, language, and intellect. In Roman mythology, Mercury was the swift messenger of the gods. In Greek mythology, Hermes carried messages between worlds. Long before smartphones and email existed, this symbolism connected Mercury with movement and information. Modern astrology inherited these symbolic associations. Artificial intelligence recognizes a recurring cultural pattern. The stories survive because the symbols remain meaningful. This is not unique to astrology. Every civilization builds symbolic languages. They help people organize complex experiences into understandable narratives. The deeper question, then, is not simply whether Mercury retrograde is real. The deeper question is, what do we mean by real? If we're asking whether Mercury literally sends negative energy toward Earth during retrograde, current scientific evidence does not support that claim. If we're asking whether people genuinely change their behavior because they believe Mercury retrograde matters, the answer is clearly yes. Beliefs influence choices. Expectations influence perception. Symbols influence culture. Artificial intelligence finds all three repeatedly throughout human history. Perhaps Mercury retrograde tells us less about the planet itself and more about ourselves. It reminds us that communication deserves attention, that technology requires maintenance, that relationships benefit from patience, that rushing often creates unnecessary mistakes. These lessons remain valuable regardless of astrology. Through the eyes of AI, Mercury retrograde becomes something unexpected. Not a cosmic malfunction, not a scientific certainty, but a fascinating intersection of astronomy, psychology, mythology, symbolism, and human behavior. It demonstrates how one astronomical event became one of the world's most recognizable cultural symbols. And perhaps that's the most remarkable discovery of all. Sometimes the greatest patterns are not found in the stars. They're found in the stories humanity tells about them. If you enjoyed this investigation, subscribe to Astrology from an AI perspective, where we explore astrology, artificial intelligence, psychology, mythology, history, and the timeless patterns that shape human civilization. In our next investigation, we'll ask another fascinating question. Can the moon really affect human behavior? Until next time, keep looking up, keep asking questions, and never stop exploring the space where curiosity meets the cosmos.